Hey all, Satish here. This is a continuation of the previous chapter. In this chapter, I want to do two things. One, I want to use MCC, that is the microchip code configure, where you don't have to go through the data sheet and find out what are the registers to set it as input like we did it in the last one. Here the code, it will provide a user interface where you can go and click and it will write the code that we did it in the last class. And second is do the same thing for a different microcontroller, that is the Renesas microcontroller. And here before that there are two views. There is a file view, like how you see the Windows folder view, and there is a project view. Project view groups header files and source files together. In case if you come here and you're not able to see, you see it differently as I am doing, just come to projects. And in the class we started with PIC16 of 877A, then realized that in Proteus we were not able to simulate it, so we shifted to PIC16 of 84. But with PIC16 of 84, what happened? My code configure was not working. I think this is a very old microcontroller, so this code configure does not work with this microcontroller. So we will select a microcontroller which supports code configure. So we will select a microcontroller that is 8-bit, and something like how we did a kit for our basic electronic course, we will do a kit with microchip. So let's select a controller which will be used in the kit also. So I can show you the process of how we select a controller also. So but first let's go to microchip and MCC and figure out which are the microcontrollers that it supports. So we select one of them, and now all the IDEs are coming up with code generators. So I would like to show you how to use them, because it's very easy and you don't have to go through all the data sheets. So now just for this one, let me see the release notes. So these are the list of microcontrollers which it supports. Now let's go and select a microchip. Okay, go to products, microcontrollers. Let's select a PIC MCU. They have acquired AVR and 8051, so they have multiple branches. So let's go with PIC MCUs. And there is compare 8-bit PIC devices. Okay. If you come here, let's see which to select. We'll not go with PIC12, we'll go to PIC16, not PIC18, and we'll select in this. By the end of this course, I will show you how to use a LCD, that 16x4 or that line displays, LCD displays, UART, I2C, relays, sensors. So let's select one that the pin count is more than 20 and less than 50. So this is a pin count. So these, if you come here, 14 to 20, we don't need this. We can use this, or so any, either somewhere here, or I think this falls into our category, around 28 to 40 pins. And does it have and what are the features? RAM, it has internal EEPROM, it has a 10-bit ADC, and you can like see what are all the things that it has here. This seems to be okay for our application. PWM also. Okay, let's use one from this series. And the microchip have a beautiful tool or a web page where you can select the controller. Let me show that. On maps, microchip, maps.microchip, yeah, microchip.com/maps. So this is a very good tool where you can, it's easy to select a microcontroller. So let's select a microcontroller or any other ICs, analog interface or something. So here you can filter based on program memory or how many ADCs do you need and all these things. So we had decided to use PIC16F188. Before that, we have to also make sure that this is available here. F188, it is there. So this L is that they have two models. One is the standard and one is L, that is very low power, XLP series they have, extreme low power where the current can go to nanoamps. So this is available in both the models and is also supported here. So we have to select one of these. For me, I generally search on Mouser as I would like to buy one which is popular and bit low cost. So it is PIC 16F188. Let's see what else there. PIC 16F188. So let's see what are the microcontrollers that are available in this series. These are the ones, and let me sort it based on price and availability. Like, don't select ones that are very low in stock also. This microcontroller seems to be okay, I guess. It seems to have enough pins in it. Let me open the data sheet and check this out once. Let me check how many pins they have. We are selecting this, and it has 25 IO pins. I think it should be this. Yeah. Okay, let's use this. So if you go to MPLAB IDE, we have to create a new project with this. File, new project, standalone, PIC 16F 18854 18854. So let's use a normal one itself, not the low power one. Let me check out the stock. They have LF version also. So let's use the normal version itself. Simulator also. Next, XE8 compiler. Basic mic. Let me do basic PIC with MCC. So I personally have not used the PIC microcontrollers for a long term, and when I was using MCC was not there, so it's kind of a learning experience for me also. So let's launch MCC. What is microchip code configure? Some configuration file is there. Let's see. Let me save this. So oscillator is. So let's open the data sheet and find out if they have internal oscillator. And they have a precision internal oscillator. So if you go to special CPU features like last time. So before you come to this chapter, watch the previous chapter. So this is the oscillator clock selection. So these are the modes. This is not showing any internal oscillator. Let me come to the block diagram. So this is the external oscillator, secondary oscillator. The secondary oscillator are generally used for low power application. The internal low power, I think this is the internal high power oscillator. So let's see, clock source, external clock source, EC. So they have something called as 4 into PLL. So basically what it can do is, generally crystals you don't get about 20 megahertz or 6. So if I think this supports up till 32 megahertz. So what they will do is, using that PLL loop, they will multiply the clock by 4 times. So you can, to get 32, you can use a 8 megahertz crystal and multiply it by 32 and get a 32 megahertz clock. If you come here, external clock sources 621, 622 should have internal clock, I guess. Secondary oscillator, internal clocks. So if you come to the code, high frequency internal oscillator. So this is, do you want the watchdog timer to be running during sleep mode also? Sleep mode is basically you sleep and go to a low power mode, and because of some interrupt you wake up. So we'll go through that also in later down in the one of these classes. But let's select one enabled regardless of sleep. So this will always be So let's go with the full speed, that is 32, and let's divide it by 1. Well, I think the clock will get divided by 32 by 4. Let's divide it by 1 and let me generate the code. So once the code has been generated, if you come to projects, it would have created, so this is the latest project, few more files which you have not created. You come to header source also, you can see apart from main there are certain files which it has created. So let's get into device config. So this, it has done all the configuration. There in the previous chapter, if you remember, we did the configuration by selecting what we want, what we don't want, and generate code. So here it has generated the configuration bits. So and let's see what is the speed it has set. So it has set frequency to 32 mega. So once our clock is set up, let's do pin configuration. So this is a new tab which opened up when you clicked on MCC. So if you go here, you'll go to this MCC. Here we have finished system clock setup. Let's do pins, and in the pins also you can see the pin layout here. Here also we will do similarly RB0 and RB1. So for that, if you come here, there's a grid view. So these are the ports: port A, port B, and port C. It has only 3 ports: port A, port B, and port C. So in port B, we want pin 0 and 1 to be output. So GPIO output. So I have to click here. Now it's logged as output, and this is also logged as output. And custom name. What name do you want? Like we will use the ones which we had used in the previous example, that is LED red and LED blue. And do you want to start high? No. Do you want analog functionality on it? We don't want analog functionality. It has to be output. This weak pull up is in case you have input. So if you remember, we are always pulling and putting an external resistance for the switch. So if this pin supports wake pull up, you can click here and avoid using an external resistance. That is for that. Okay, now let's generate. The generate button is here. So after it has generated, if you go to projects and pin manager, see, it has created all these things, like what is a trace, what is a latch. I'll tell you what is a latch. Latch was not there in our PIC16F84 last time. Now latch has come, and port. So we know what is this trace and port. This is a weak pull up and everything associated with that pin. It has done the hash defines. So it has done. So if you see here, no, LED red set high, they themselves are making high. Set LED low, they themselves are making low. So there we were hash defining everything and doing it. So here the code configure is doing everything and giving it to you. Let's see how to initialize it. So which are the functions which we have to call? So that the functions will be in. So pin initialize is there. So in initialize they have done everything here. Lat A, lat B, lat C. This latch is for the output, port is for the input. So I think some point during the microchip evolving with their controllers, so they stopped. So initially port A or port B was used for both input and output. At some point what they did, they stopped port A to be used when you are using it as an input pin, and latch A or latch B to be used when you are using it as an output pin. So if you see trace B, they have made it into FC. So if you remember our last chapter, I had told you that you can use either hex or binary or integer. So they have used hex. You come hex FC. So if you see in binary, they have used the tris_b how we had done 11111100. So they have put it in xe. So this is a function which we have to call to initialize in the main. Let's see if they have already called it. They've called system initialize, and let's see pin manager initialize. So they themselves have called it. So you don't even have to call that. You can directly go ahead writing your code. And there is one more thing, you should not write in random places. What will happen here is, if you write in random places, when you call code generator next time, if you have written in wrong places, it will delete it and rewrite it. And they have given some options here. Enable the global interrupt. If you want to enable global interrupt, you have to uncomment this, but we will not get into this right now. So similar to our last thing, let's use our delay routine that we have used. If you go to this project header, we had used iomap.h. That is no longer required because they have given everything there. So let's use the delay.h. So let's create here also source. Here also let's create the header file. Delay.h, and let's just copy this code here. So what we had used here. So this is a older one, this is a newer project. I'm copying it to the newer one. Similarly, we had delay.c also. Finish. So whatever delay functions we had written the last time, let's just copy that. Delay.c. I think I have called a main file itself. One second. So let me just delete that. Source file delay already exists. So let me just go to that folder path and delete it. Remove did not work. Delay.c is already there. Let me delete it and try creating it now. Delay.c. Let me finish it. So the main function is not there, so I have to just include delay.h and our code. This watchdog timer is not coming, so I have to include xe.h also. And include xe.h. xe8 I think. Let me just check once in our main last one. It is xe.h. So now the create watchdog timer worked. Let's build this and see if there is an error. So now this has been set as our main project when we created. So this is the one that is going to build. Okay, there is no error here. If I go to my main, so like we did last time, let's make both of them low. So if you go pin manager.h, so to make them low, red one set high or set low. I'll go low. Then blue also set low. Then here I have to call hash include delay.h, that I can use the delay, pin manager.h. So I can go set high, delay, set low, or there is a toggle button. So toggle, what it will do here is whatever the previous command, it will just not it. So this is the command to toggle it. Means if it is high, it will go low, and if it is low, it will go high. So let me first use set high, set low, and then we will use this toggle, and I will show you. Delay. Let's build this now. Build failed. To see the output, you can come here. Permission denied. Let me clear and build once. Sometimes these things happen. Yeah, it worked. Like in the last chapter, I told you, if you don't see that there is a logical issue, you can just clear and build it once, and it worked. Okay, now let's start the. Let me put a breakpoint here. Nothing to do with this. Let me clear it once again. Clean and build. Seems to be working. Let me start the project once. Yeah, I think some internal error with the IDE. Okay, it's built here. Now, as I told you, we can have a watch window. So let's put watch for latch. Set high is latch B1. As I told you, I'll go through the data sheet and show you actually. Before that, let me put it to watch. New watch and latch B0. Latch is for the output. New watch. Okay, now both of them are 0. Let me step over. So now both of them should have become high variables. It is here. Both of them have become high. So now one more step. The delay become low. See how it is working? Or else what you can do here is the toggle command should work easily. So if you come to iopinmanager.h and toggle, red toggle and blue toggle. Red, here blue. So let's see what is this toggle command. So if you control and click on that, it will show you what it is doing is it is doing a bitwise complementing operator. Basically, if this bit is 1, it will become 0. If it is 0, it will become 1. So it will toggle. So now just let's just run the simulation and see if that is working. So the variables are here. It has come here. Let me start once. Now both of them are high. If I start, both of them will go 0. Then after that loop, it becomes 1, 0. So they are toggling. So now let's quickly check out the data sheet of this one, because it's slightly different than the last controller we did, because this has a bit more features on it. So if you see here, what they're telling, trace bit, setting trace bit will make it, trace bit is equal to 1 will make the corresponding port B pin as input. Then reading, for reading register is port B, reach the status of the pin, whereas writing to it will write to latch register. So basically for output they are using latch register. So if you want to make anything as output, we have to make it as, we have to write, set it in the latch bit. And let's see what are the other registers they have. One is the port B. This is for reading. Tris B, setting it as input or output. 1 will be input, 0 will be output. Then latch register. So whatever, if you want it to be high or low, you have to write here, not port B. They suggest you to write it into latch B. And Ansel B. Ansel B means, for example, I think this controller also has analog ports in port B. So if you write 1 into this Ansel B, it will work as an analog pin. It will not work as a digital pin. To work as a digital pin, you have to write it into 0 into Ansel B. So if you see the code also, let us go here. They would have written Ansel somewhere here. They have written Ansel. They have defined here, and in the here they would have written Ansel B as FC. FC is the last B0 and B1 as we saw in our calculator. FC is 0 0 in Ansel. So 0 0 they have written. 0 indicates it's a digital pin. And next is weak pull-up register. Suppose you want to have a pull-up register on it. Internally, if you write 1 into this register, you can enable the pin up. If this feature is available on the pin, then you don't have to connect it. If you are using it as an input, where we always use a pull-up register, then you don't have to use that pull-up register if you enable this. And open drain. So basically what this open drain means is, suppose in some application what will happen is you don't want it to go high, you just want it to grow low. Standard push, pull or sync. Then what will happen? The processor will give you high and the processor will give you low. Okay, if you have made it as 1, the processor will no longer give the high signal. It will not give you 3.3, but it will give you a proper 0. So let's assume that you are using this controller in 3.3 volts and the output is going to 3.3 and 0. But in some cases where if you want the output to go to 5 volts, then you can have a pull up and connect this pin. So when this pin becomes 0, you will get 0 volts. So when the pin becomes high, it will no longer pull it to push it to 3.3. It will just let it go. It will be an transistor kind of a circuit inside. So whatever is the pull up there, let's assume you have connected the pull up to 5 volts, that pin will go to 5 volts. Now let's see how we can set a pin as input. For that, let's go to our MCC. Then input pin. So if we come here, grid view is there. Here like similar to our last example, RB1 and RB0 and 1 we have set as output. 1 and 2 let's set as input. So now they have been set as input. So what we will do is we will do status of switch 1 and here you can have a pull up. So if you have a pull up, then what will happen is you don't have to connect an external resistor. So let me put SV2 and generate code. So now if you come to the project and I think we had opened up pinmanager.c and pinmanager.h, you can see the switch status has come. So for the switch we will have to use, for in reading we will use SW1 port, for writing it is latch, for reading it is port. Let's go to our main. So is equal to 0. You can also hash define it as switch press, how we had done last time. So in this one, for that you have to go to pinmanager.h. So let's define. I'm not sure if I build it again, will this code go away if I write it here? Anyway, let's see. If it goes away, then you have to write another dio dot h as how we did last time. Switch pressed 0. Come to main, switch pressed. Then here what I'll do, instead of toggling, I'll set it as high. Set low. Let me delete this. Similarly, we can do it for switch 2 also. Instead of red, it will be blue. Let us build one. Some error is there, some permission denied. Maybe it might be because my Dropbox is always syncing. Let me pause it for 30 minutes and let me build it. Because Dropbox keeps uploading the file every time something happens here. So maybe this is conflicting with that. Now let me clear and rebuild it once again. Yeah, there is a warning that it has never been used, so let's ignore that. Let's quickly go and check what happens when if I regenerate the code. If I regenerate the code again, okay, it did not regenerate anything. Anyway, let me do one thing. Let's quickly go to the another one and make one more pin as input. Pin modules. So let's let it be the same thing. Just let me regenerate. I'm curious to see what will happen. Oh, it is actually pointing out that this might get deleted or something. Yeah. So I think if you do this, it will get deleted. So it is better to make your own .c, io.c and io.h and make all the definitions you make inside them. Okay, let's simulate it and see what's happening. So if I start the simulator, it's here. This delay is not required now. Now let me delete it and restart it again. The code is variable list is here. Both of them are. So let's check out the status of these pins also. RB2, let new watch, and RB1 also. Okay, there is a get value. So let me just check what I have done. Status of switch. So this and get value are defined to the same thing. So we can either use this or use that. If you come to our main and variable list, RB2 and RB1. It's not supposed to be RB1. RB3 is what we want. So let's make one of the switches RB3 value, let me make it 0, and RB2 also, let's make, so I'm not able to make it 0. So this is how you write your code. So this is how you write your code when you are using Microchip code generator. Hope that's clear. So nowadays most of the IDEs or controllers give this option, but I still want to continue with this also. Both I'll do this simply because I can simulate this, and you can also, without buying anything or spending any money, you can just download Proteus and see how it works. Let me do the same code in Renaissance and you will be able to see how we can do it in Renaissance, and it is not very difficult to this. And I also mentioned that if you write it in a structured way, shifting from one microcontroller to another one is very easy. So now I'll show you how to write the code in Renaissance microcontroller. As discussed earlier, I'll write the same code on a different microcontroller with a different IDE. How similar it is to code on two different microcontrollers. So in Renaissance, I've selected one from RL78 G12 series. So this G12 is something like your PIC 8, PIC 10, PIC 16, PIC 24. This is the G12 series. And so the chip which I am going to select is R5F102AA. So this is a 30-pin device. So if you come down, you can see the pin mapping. This is the microcontroller which we are going to use. This is around 35 rupees, Indian rupees. It's pretty low cost. So let me open the IDE CS Plus. So once you open it, let me create a new project. You have to go to project, create new project. So here we have to select RL78, and from there you have to connect R5F102AA. This is our microcontroller, and the path, let me create a folder for Renaissance. Path, let me do, path should be here. The project name is microcontroller basics. Let me create. So I generally use camel casing, that is a first letter of a different word will be B, so it's easier to read. So now I have created the project. So the first thing that you have to do here once you come here is to generate the clock. So in PIC microcontroller, what we did was, let me open that. So we went to production, set configuration bit. So now in this one, we are going to do the clock. So here there is something called as a pin assignment. Basically what it means is, let me open up the data sheet. For example, let me see there are certain ports which are there in the bracket. For example, TX0 is in bracket, but the primary port is this one. So by default, it will be on this port. By selecting certain configuration bits, the TX, that is there is a UART channel 0, can be shifted to this port. So by using these bits, you can transfer to different pins, which wherever the options are available. It's not only with UART communication, it is there with I2C and SPI. So let's not worry about it now. Let's use whatever the default pin configuration is, fix the settings. Okay, then we have to come to clock settings. So here we have to first select what voltage we are going to use it. So before that, let me tell, before that, almost all Renaissance controller have inbuilt oscillators. So this has inbuilt operation from 1 to 24 megahertz. So let's assume it is 24 megahertz. So if you are reducing the voltage, you can see that it has read that 24 megahertz option is not there. So let me select something where it is 2.7 to 5.5 where I can get this option. So let me run at the max speed. So these are basic things we have to do. So as and we get into the more and advanced classes, let's go explore each and everything. For now, let's just fix the frequency and generate clock. So once you generate the clock, now the clock would have been generated. So it will set the configuration bit to generate the clock. So now in our code, we had used port B 0 and 1 as output and 2 and 3 as input. So here let me select a port, port 0. So here how you read here is this P21 means port to pin 1. This is port 14 pin 7. Port 1 pin 0. This is port 2 pin 0. Port 0 pin 1 pin 0. Port 0 pin 1. That is how you have to read this. So let me select a port which does not have any ADC or UART communication. Okay, let me select this port port 1, 2. So let's make these two pins as output, port 1.0 and port 1.1. So if you come port clock generator here, so in case of Renesas, what happens is almost all the microcontrollers they have this code generator will work. So in Renesas, in microchip, we saw that for the few microcontrollers it was not working. That is primarily because those microcontrollers are really old also, like 10 plus or 15 or 20 years old. Okay, here I'm not going to go through the data sheet. I'm going to only write from the code generator. I have to come to ports, port 1, both port 1.0 and port 1.1. I'll make it as output. So I'll generate the code. So now it has like how in PIC we generated code. Now this has generated the code. Let's come to main. So in PIC we had to create a main file. Here it has already created the main file. So this is your while one loop, and all the required settings will already be done in like port.c. If you come, no, here they would have made that port 1 as output. All these settings that we did manually in the first case, and MCC did it in the second case. Here this has done here. So now I also told you initially when in the explanation that we will write the code in such a way that it is, I can easily shift from one microcontroller to another microcontroller. So now what I'll do here is whatever my code that I had written here, I'll shift the code to this microcontroller. So now after this, let me create the first two include files that we did in microchip was iomap.h and iomap.c. So let me create the iomap files. So you have to come here, add new file. So add that, if you already have a file you can add from there. Add new file. I'll do a .c file and I'll add iomap.c, and let me add iomap.h also. Add new file, header file, iomap.h. So in h, a PIC had done this statement like if not defined. PIC had already done that. So here it is not pre-written, I have to write it. Define iomap underscore h. So it is not that you have to write it in this particular, just writing iomap will also work, but I've seen that this is a general format which everybody uses. I've continued to use that. So you can write it whatever way you want, but if you continue to write if everybody writes the way everybody writes the code in a certain way, it is easier to read. So that is why let's follow some standards that has already been established. Define endif, and here iomap.c, let me include iomap.h. So if you guys have come here specifically for Renesas, please go through the microchip from the beginning of the tutorial, so that because I have explained what is .c file, what is .h file, and why you have to write if defined and define all these things in the microchip tutorial. So go through that and come here if you have come specifically for, even though you have come specifically for Renesas. Okay, now let me just copy the code from there. So I'll go here, iomap.h. So I don't have to configure as it as output and all, because the IDE has already done it so I'll just use this. So I have to do it in iomap.h, but here it is no longer like this, it is p1.0 p1.1. so that is what I meant. You can just copy the code, and here what happens if I build this, no, it will give an error. As I explained in microchip when I created, this file does not know where this is defined. So you have to tell where this is defined. This is defined in this port.h, but I generally copy these three things because I've seen that sometimes it gives up error if these micro drivers are not installed. Then in iomap.c we had written a function initialize iomap. So let us put prototype this and write this function iomap.initialize. Here what we'll do is we'll make, we can just copy code from here, both the LEDs off. Because we have done hash define, I'm able to copy the code. So if I return like port b.rb0 is equal to 0, then I have to retype the whole thing here. Since I have hash defined, it is very easy to copy the code. Similarly, let me call this initialize. So initialize basically what it's going to do here is it is going to turn off make both the LEDs low. So before getting in, so user initialize, so it is telling, so here you have to write the code in between this, user code starts, user code ends. Else what happens if I generate the code again, everything you have written outside the point which they have given will be removed. So make sure that you write it here. For all the initialization, I generally write it here, iomap. So it is giving an error because it does not know where this function is. This file does not know that. So I have to include iomap.h. iomap.h knows where the function is. So let me F7. So the build option here is build project. F7 is the shortcut. It is still not able to find this. Let me see, iomap.c has this. iomap.h I prototyped here, and I've called it in main also. Let me clean and do it once. Build, clean project, build project. Yeah. So this ID is like how we face the same issue in microchip. This also has. Sometimes if there is some issue like this, we are not able to find, just clean and build it. Or every time you can clean and build it. But what happens as the code becomes built, if you clean and build it, it will take a long time. Even if you make one variable I is equal from I is equal to 1 and is equal to I is equal to 2, only build will only build that edited file. Clean and build will remove all the everything, all the created file and rebuild from the beginning. That takes time. So here I have initialized, and in the main let me turn off both and turn on both. So I'll put a breakpoint and stop it. And how clear watchdog timer, if you remember how we had used in PIC, it is there in, it is watchdog timer restart. This is the code, it has to be used in Renesas. Again, my guys who have come here without watching the PIC, watch the PIC tutorial so that you will understand what is a watchdog timer. Okay, now to simulate this, what I have to do here is Now RL, so this is the compiler. CA is a compiler. How our XC8 was a compiler there, this is the compiler and this is the simulator. So for simulating, you can go to debug, build and download. It has started the simulation. Okay, it has put the program is here and it is waiting to be run. So here I can execute one step at once. So now you can see it is executing one after the other. Again, while one loop, I have explained it in the microcontroller. Here I will not do any explanation of whatever I have done in microchip. I will just run through the code and show you. The whole intention is to show you how easy it is to code on a different microcontroller, and copy pasting from one to another is easy if you maintain certain standards while coding. So now I can IO map that I can put the watch was there in if you remember, the watch was there in MPLAB. So here also there is a watch. So you can right click, watch register, then let me watch this also. I am watching now both of them. So one is 0 and other one is 1. So let me go to main and see where the code is. So now if you see, both of them are off now. 0 value is 0. If you don't want to see it in hex, if you want to see it in decimal, you can right click and notations, input it to unsigned decimal, then you can see it in decimal also. See 1 1 0 0 1 1. So now this is running in this mode. So now let's see how we can do the input here. So I'll go back to ports. These two, pin 1.2, port 1.3, I'll make it as input, and here I'll enable the pull-up resistor. So if you enable the pull-up resistor, what happens is, if you see, remember our simulator which we did it in Proteus, we had put a pull-up resistor along with the switch. So if the microcontroller pin has inbuilt pull-up resistor, you don't have to use that resistor. It is one, it will reduce the cost a bit and reduce the space on the PCB. So let me generate the code. So again I have to go to iomap.c and h. So let me copy the code from here also. iomap.h. This was my input definition. So I am not doing the tris because the ID itself will do it. So let me do here. So here P1.2, P1.3. So now I have only changed it in one place. So rest of the code will only be copied. So if I go to main now, here's my main. I can just copy this code and it should start working. I go to main. Delete this. I'll just put this. So let me build it once again. So either you can go to debug, build and download, or just click here. So now I would want to watch the input key status also. iomap.h. Watch register. Watch register. Now both of them are 0 now. Okay, when both of them are 0, it has become high. So and here what happens, these variables get updated only when you stop it. So if you want a periodic updating, what you have to do here is, there is an option, periodic updating options. Here you have to come, debug tool settings, and so it is updating. Update display during execution, yes, and it will be updated every 500 milliseconds. Okay, so let me run it. So I think if I come to main, here I can make this variable as 1, means I am making the pin status as 1. So if you see, if I make it 1, this port 1 became 1. So it's similar to I am pressing the switch. For some reason this is not becoming 1. Let me check the ports, what is the issue. In P12, P1.2, 1.3 seems to be okay. And then let me go to main input key switch is equal to pressed. Okay, for some reason this is not setting to 1, but here I can set it to 0. If I set it to 0, you see this has become 1. Switch is pressed. If I press remove the switch, 1 logic is switch is not pressed, and it is changing to 0. So now your code is working. So now we have only done with iomap.c and iomap.h. Let us create that delay also. So let's go in tandem. Whatever I am doing in PIC, I will do it here also. Add new file, C file, and let me do delay.c and header file also. Add new file, header file, delay.h. In delay.h again we have to write that. So let me stop the code first. Hash, so it is in this actually, hash if not defined delay underscore h end if, and in delay.c I will delay.h. Now let's copy our code from the microchip, the delay which we had written. Delay.c, let me copy this. The variable I was not using, so I will not use it. Delay.c, and in delay.h we only had the function prototype. And in here if you build it, there will be couple of errors. One, in this IDE you cannot declare int inside a for loop. You have to declare all the variables in the beginning itself, beginning of the function, I and j both. And clear watchdog timer is not this one, it is watchdog timer restart. So in PIC what was happening was the watchdog timer was incrementing from 0 to 255 and then resetting. In Renesas it decrements from 255 to 0, and when it hits 0 it will restart. That's an internal difference, it will not matter to us. We are just going to call this function instead of this, and let me just do this below function also. And about declaring the variables, in the next chapter I will show you how I generally declare variables. I never do it as int I comma j. For the simplicity of this one, let me keep it like this, so that error went away and does not know where this real watchdog timer is, so it is in watchdog timer.h. So if I put it here, this error should go down. I just saved it, the error went away. And about watchdog timer, if you see here, if you come here, it is used during snooze or halt or stop. In the sleep modes also it is enabled, and overflow time is so much. So if you don't clear it in 4.3 milliseconds or 4.3 seconds, it will reset the processor. You can select like any value, like 4 milliseconds, 8 milliseconds. Let's keep it to 0.3 seconds. That is 4369 milliseconds, 4.3 seconds. So if you make any changes here, you have to generate the code. So now it has done that. So to see the delay, I have to go here, I guess. So where did we use the delay in our code? I think in iomap.c, just as a startup indication, we did that. So let me do in iomap.c. Again, I cannot declare it here. So I cannot simulate and show you this on any software. In the next class, I'll see if I can bring up hardware and program it and show it to you. I'll show you the video. Delay small, this doesn't know, that's because I have not included delay here. And including, we always do the delay.h where we have prototyped the function. So now if you, let me do it, so now if you see, the code will run. This is updating every 500 milliseconds. So it showed only 1 or 2 toggles. Okay, you can either reduce the time of this update to 100 millisecond or increase our delay time from delay small to delay high. Basically the code works. So now we have written the same code in Renesas. So since we had written in a very structured way how using hash defines, it was very easy to copy. So in the next chapter we will get into one thing. Let's start with timers. Now we have written a very bad delay function because we don't know what exactly is the delay. I will write the delay using timers. So in the next chapter, let's start with timers.